Welcome. Today, we're jumping into a really powerful story called The Echo in the Valley. It's all about the surprising, and sometimes invisible, weight of our words.
So let's start with a big question, just to get us thinking. What if every single word you said, the good stuff and the bad, eventually circled right back to you? Just keep that idea in your head as we go through this.
All right, so our story kicks off in this little village, and we meet our main character, a boy named Zayd. Now, Zayd was sharp. He was witty, had a great way with words, and people just kind of liked being around him.
But, and this is a big but, Zayd had a problem. He had this habit of talking about people when they weren't around. You know, gossiping. You might have heard him say something like this, kind of casually twisting his friend Hamza's kindness into something selfish.
Or maybe he'd whisper something about Amina, framing her confidence as if it were arrogance. These little comments were just careless, but they spread.
So one afternoon, Zayd wanders out to this valley just outside the village, and this is where things get really interesting.
He's just hanging out, and for fun, he decides to shout one of his usual critiques out into the open space.
And guess what? The valley answers. His own negative word gets thrown right back at him, over and over, surrounding him with his own judgment.
Just then, a wise old traveler passing by happens to hear him. He offers this simple but really profound piece of advice. Zayd, of course, just kind of shrugs it off. But a few days later, Zayd starts to notice something's off. People in the village are a little distant. Friends are avoiding him. That warmth he was used to, it's kind of gone. Then he starts to overhear things, whispers about himself, and the words sound weirdly familiar, just like the kind of stuff he would say about other people. The whispers keep coming. The exact same accusations he threw around are now being aimed right back at him. It's like the echo from the valley has followed him home. And Zayd is genuinely hurt. He's confused, feels totally alone, and he just can't figure out why this is happening to him. He doesn't see his part in it at all. And then it hits him. That traveler's warning just clicks into place. He suddenly gets it. The valley wasn't just a place. It was a perfect metaphor for his own life.
And this is really the core lesson here, right? Life is basically a giant echo chamber. Whatever you put out there with your words, good or bad, is eventually going to find its way back to you.
This realization totally changes Zayd. And he doesn't just think about it, he acts. He stops joining in on gossip. He starts being super intentional about using kinder words. And importantly, he goes and apologizes to the people he hurt. So to kind of test out this new way of being, he goes back to the valley. But this time, he sends something totally different out into the world. He sends out something good.
And the echo he gets back, it's completely transformed. It's not harsh anymore. It's peaceful. It's positive. It's a reflection of the good he just put out there.
So what's the big takeaway for us from Zayd's story? Well, it all boils down to a really simple, practical little test. Before you say something about somebody else, just run it through these 3 questions. First, is what I'm about to say true? Second, is it kind? And third, is it necessary? And the guideline here is super clear. If you can't say a solid yes to all 3 of those, then maybe, just maybe, silence is the best option. Which brings us right to the moral of the whole story. It's a piece of wisdom that's been around forever. Speak good or just stay silent, because every word you put out there is going to come back to you someday. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. Knowing that your words will come back to you, what kind of echo do you actually want to hear? What kind of world are you building for yourself, one word